Hey everybody, welcome back to the LuckyDog podcast. This is your host, Elias Roush. This podcast is sponsored by EliasRoushMedia.com, photo, video, digital media production. Today we are discussing Netflix's original documentary series, just original documentary. It's not a series, just a regular movie. Sorry, I already fucked that up. Start again. Today we are discussing a Netflix original documentary, My Octopus Teacher. Total runtime is about 85 minutes. Released September 7th on Netflix of 2020. My Octopus Teacher is a 2020 Netflix original documentary film directed by Pippa Ulrich and James Reed. It features filmmaker Craig Foster capturing a year he spent with a wild common octopus. The synopsis. This film shows in 2010, Foster began freediving in a cold underwater kelp forest at a remote location in False Bay near Cape Town, South Africa, which is a west part of South Africa from what I can hear, what I've researched. The location was near Simonstown on the Cape Peninsula, which is exposed to the cold Begulia current of the Atlantic Ocean. He started to film his experiences, and in time, a curious young octopus captured his attention. By visiting her den and tracking her movements every day for several months, he won the animal's trust. In the film, Foster describes the impact it had on his life and relationship with the octopus and the surrounding world. This movie, wow. Okay, so let me just do a little rewind. I was like, oh my gosh, hungover as hell from having a great Halloween time. Definitely social distance. We had a little shindig, but I was like, oh my gosh, I have got this pounding headache from this party. I just want to sit down and watch something, relaxing, a little bit serenading. Something that's a little bit unique. And of course, Netflix has quite an amalgamation of what do you got, like documentaries and just strange niche properties that you can watch on there. And so I was like, My Octopus Teacher, what the hell is this? And so I'm naturally fascinated to documentaries and filmmaking. However, this year I haven't been watching too many documentaries. I feel like I haven't gotten a chance to have an experience with too many of them. But finding this documentary was one of the best things that I could say that I've done with regards of not having any background on what this property or what this documentary is about. I had no idea what this was about. Didn't have a lick of it of information to kind of go off of. So I looked a little bit at the trailer. Normally I don't watch trailers, but the trailer was quite fascinating. It looked like it had some amazing cinematography from the B-roll, and then it had somewhat of an interesting storyline with this guy basically befriending an octopus in some sort of way. I was like, this has got to be, this is something I just got to see. So I gave it the first 10 minutes, first 15 minutes. I was like, all right, this, we got this guy. He's a filmmaker. He's kind of down. He's kind of depressed. He's from South Africa, and his name's Craig Foster. And he's just like trying to really find himself. It really seems that he was suffering from sort of like a midlife crisis in a sort of a way. But he was also a very good documentarian with capturing wildlife. And so once you kind of get into the feel and the flow of things of him saying, okay, yeah, I needed to find my way. And once he gets into the water, I think is when it starts really hitting its stride. Because at the beginning, I was like, all right, we have basically one single camera talking head of Craig Foster. And I was like, is this guy just like talking about how depressed he is for the entire thing for 85 minutes? I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like that. And what it does is it endears you to this guy as someone that becomes on somewhat of a level, sort of obsessed with going and revisiting this specific reef. And you've got to be a certain level of, I don't want to say crazy, but you got to be a certain level of, an athlete in a way, because this guy is jumping in basically freezing water and swimming with wildlife that could take you out in any which way. And on top of that, he's recording while he's doing that. And then I was thinking about how the hell this documentary is even made. I was like, there's somebody out there recording him doing the recordings. So there was probably some B-roll that was done, post, after they already had all of the specific pieces. They might have gone back and had him swim a little bit more. But my God, I have got to say, by the end of this movie, without going into too many spoilers about what's, why this really works, but this this world that he is exploring feels like unlike any other. It feels in a way that it it's expansive on an epic scale. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, going in this water and seeing all these beautiful pieces of wildlife that are just all from the water to the trees to the kelp to the blue to the reds to the colors of the fish and all this different stuff and the places they're living in. And yeah, I was absolutely floored. So it feels epic in a way, but it also feels very personal in a way too. So what makes this feel different from like what is it? Our Planet by David Attenborough, one of those, nature documentaries that just kind of show nature in its element doing its thing, and things happen. There's like this personal element that happens in this story with my octopus teacher, of the connection between him and the animals. And this guy really finds solace in being surrounded in this atmosphere. And I think that this documentary really nails on the head what it feels like to be to have a connection with wildlife. And it's one of these documentaries that might have you thinking about, should I be eating animals at this? Are these seriously living creatures, and that have forms, relationships, bonds, and feelings and stuff like that. Like, it is some really deep philosophical stuff that goes on with the capturing of the octopus on film. And so it's just like, and it's not just the octopus. It feels like we're kind of like a fly on the wall, or a fly in the water, if that makes sense, or a fish in the water that is just kind of watching things happen. And it's fascinating that he's able to get so close to the wildlife and get such great footage. I think the footage does progressively get better. I think at the beginning of the series, it is a little bit slow to come up, but once he's in the water and once he starts really feeling around what he's shooting, I think he finds his footing, and it looks remarkable. And the footage he gets with the octopus, my goodness, I gotta go in spoilers to really talk about why it's remarkable that this works. But he really does have this friendship with this octopus, and it's absolutely fascinating. I couldn't quite pin it down why it is, but it feels like a Disney animated movie come to life, or like a short story of some sort. Like, it's beautiful, and it feels like a movie that almost should have been animated in a way, but it's real life. That's what makes it so fascinating. And so let me see. The cinematography was directed by underwater cameraman Roger Horrocks, and with footage from Craig Foster and Roger Horrocks. Yeah, and eventually this, I don't want to give all the way the juicy details, but let me hop into spoilers. Before I do, I'm telling you right now, I was very moved at the end of this movie. It has the makings of, a great movie. You're on edge at some point. You're scared, you're excited, you're happy, you're sad, you might be laughing a little bit. You are experiencing all emotions in what feels very natural, in the fact that he was able to capture all of this with being, so intimate with this animal. I was just floored. So let's hop into spoilers real quick. I gave this like a 9 out of 10. This is by far one of the best documentaries and movies I've seen this year. It's just really exciting to find something kind of like a gem in the rough. It was kind of like finding, uh, a gem on Netflix is kind of hard to come by, in my opinion, sometimes, because there's just such a branch and expansion of things to watch. So when you do find something really good, you're like, oh my God, this was fucking amazing. And so, really, my only criticism was I thought the titles, the titles on the main opening intro was just not that impressive. I thought it looked very elementary, to be honest. But when it comes to the visuals, when it comes to the relationship, I keep saying relationship, but the friendship that he has with this octopus. And I keep saying relationship because he talks about the octopus almost as if it's like a girlfriend, or or a long lost friend. Not like he's having like not like sexually or anything like that. Whoops. Not like not like that shit. That's fucking some weird shit. But what, like having a bond with your cat or dog or something like that, and he, you talk about them as he or she as well. So it's very very fascinating. Let's hop into spoiler section for My Octopus Teacher right now. So holy Santa Claus shit. Let's just talk about how fucking awesome the callbacks were in this real quick. The way that they have the octopus shown at the beginning in the position of with all the shells, and then we see later when he's fighting the sharks and stuff like that, and the predators that are trying to come after the octopus. I was like, this is great filmmaking. This, from a directorial standpoint, I think that this is really well done from these directors, Pippa and James. They did a fascinating job with the way that they introduce the octopus, all the way to the lifespan of the octopus, all the way to having, the kids, the millions and millions of octopus children that are going. There's like this bond between the octopus growing old, just like, Craig's growing older, and then passing on to the youth, passing on life. This octopus does as well, and showing the expansiveness of the sea. Tom Foster is Craig's son, who starts kind of finding his way, and I got Steve Irwin vibes a little bit, from back in the day. I know that his son's kind of into animals as well. This was just absolutely, it was very moving in a way that I was not expecting. Like I when you feel for this animal and it's trying to protect itself, and you're like, Craig, do something, damn it, it's your friend. And it's like, oh my gosh. You see Craig, how moved he is at certain points. And I know I'm kind of going, not in order of what happened in this movie, but this movie is just fascinating. From this guy's like he becomes literally obsessed with the ocean and obsessed with this creature. Like think about people that lose their dog or cats, and they're trying to like track that shit, and they're like, oh yeah, if we track it over here, he took a poop over here, and then he messed some shit up over there. It feels like it's impossible to track shit if you don't really know what you're doing. This guy fucking tracked an octopus underwater. Are you kidding me? The OCD that this guy must be experiencing must have been through the roof. I mean, this guy seriously needs some therapy after this, because I was like, he's depressed going into the water and then befriending the octopus. As soon as he befriends the octopus and this octopus goes, he's going to be twice as depressed. He's going to have to befriend a turtle or something so it won't die on him before him. Like, my lord. I was just like, I cared so much about this octopus. And even like after the documentary, I just keep thinking, I'm like, oh my goodness, I wonder what the octopus is doing. And I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, we know what happens at the end of this. But it feels like there's danger, and it feels like there's life, and it feels like there's a personality to this octopus. And my God, I could not recommend this enough. I mean, from the technical standpoint of watching this guy kind of descent into a literal deep pursuit of this octopus was just fascinating. I mean, all of the little details you find out about how smart they are and whatnot, and essentially how we see how octopuses are octopuses. Is that what it's called? Octopi? I don't know what the hell multiple the plural for whatever octopus is. We see how they protect themselves, and they're essentially like chameleons the entire time. Their entire makeup seems to be so that they can, I don't know, so that they can run away or evade predators and stuff like that. And these little suckers, finding out they have like 2,000 suckers, is really fascinating. And the battle with the shark, I was pins and fucking needles, y'all. I was like, holy shit. I was like, it felt like the same, like, emotions I had when watching like Thanos and the Avengers. I was like, oh my gosh, it's Captain America. The octopus is like, like had the shields up, had the shells up, like trying to fight off the evil shark and stuff like that. It was fucking like, it felt so real. And then when you see the octopus riding the back of the tiger shark, oh my god, I felt like it didn't even happen. Like, that's some fucking Disney animated shit that would happen or something like that. Like, that is some next level. Like, I don't even know how that happened. So I was just floored. I was absolutely floored. And I want everybody to check this out. If you don't think you're going to like it by just the kind of weird niche of it, then I totally understand. But I got to tell you, I was fucking floored. And, from the battles to the friendship to the expansiveness of the water, but yet it's kind of like an individual nailed down relationship. Yeah, it fucking works. It feels like if you did a nature doc and you just studied one single animal the entire time. And so it absolutely fascinating. I need everybody to watch it. I'm actually going to release this early so that everyone can check it out. So yeah, let me know what you thought about My Octopus Teacher. Was it too weird for you? Let me know what you thought about the review. If you'd like this live, get it on Twitch, LuckyDog Podcast. If you want it mastered, get it on SoundCloud. If you want it early, get it on YouTube and Patreon. So it's going to be on there early. So remember that. We got a Patreon with 3 tiers, and I'll let you guys check that out. I won't bore you with the details, but you already know if you want to hear me talk in a monotone voice like this, and you can do it on Patreon as well, and you get everything early. And yeah, the entire library is on Patreon as well. So be sure to check that out at LuckyDog Podcast. Let me know what you thought about My Octopus Teacher. Let me know how I can improve. Thumbs up, subscribe. You know what to do. 5 stars, iTunes. Take it easy.